I had to go to my cousin today, man. You know what I mean?
Cousin got edibles. We up.
Yeah, all the
This is an emergency broadcast.
All right, we live. Cousin got edibles.
This is an emergency broadcast. In the event you start showing your ass. This is an emergency broadcast.
We live.
This is an emergency broadcast. In the event you start showing your ass, the bags moving too fast, the cash doing too much too fast. They say the last will be first and the first will be last.
What's going on, brothers? What's going on, Bill?
Fig, what's up, baby? How you?
Bruh, another day, bro. Another day, man. What's going on, Ellen Nash?
What up, Feet?
How you,
Life is
brother?
good.
Life is good. Listen, man, I'm Feek. This is B.L.A.M TV. Tonight we coming to you live. Tonight we're gonna be talking about Exterminating All the Brutes, four-part series on HBO. This series is heavy. This is something that calls for me to be a little bit more serious tonight, because the topic that we talk about is super serious. So tonight, absolutely. So tonight we're gonna break off into a little bit of this, and then we're gonna get into some hot topics, especially the Derek Chauvin trial. So listen, I was thinking of ways to kind of bridge from this introduction that I just did into what we talk about, but there's no bridge, man. I mean, if you've looked at the series, there's no bridge. You just got to jump right into it, just like he did.
Yeah.
You just got to jump right into it, man. Listen, Exterminate the Brutes is one of the most compelling series that I've ever saw on TV. I don't even know how they made it on TV. You know what I mean?
Yeah, I don't know how long it's gonna stay there either, but you better hurry up and watch it.
Well, you know what? As soon as they put it out on video, you better get it.
Hell yeah.
So what was your thoughts about it, brothers? What was your thoughts, man?
Oh man, what I dug about Exterminate the Brutes, man, was a few things, man. First of all, I was appreciative of the cinematography of it, man. You know, the way he shot the docu series. You know, he had some historical content as far as footage, and he morphed it real nice. I'm sorry, the brother Raoul Peck. You know, big up to him. He morphed it real nice with some reenactment scenes, man. That really brought the whole thing to life for me. So it was hella digestible for me, man.
Absolutely, man. Absolutely. What are your thoughts, Naj? I know you peeped it out as well, man. What are your thoughts?
Yeah, my thing is that I'm just more surprised that something like this is actually on television. You know, I don't think I've ever really seen anything like this in my lifetime, like airing on a major network. You know what I mean, like HBO. I have seen one other HBO documentary that was kind of heavy, but never anything like this where he really got into the savagery in terms of holding the white race accountable for their actions on this earth historically. It's definitely one of a kind. I think more people need to see it. More people need to be talking about it. When Coming to America came out, everybody was talking about that. This is something that everybody should be talking about,
Facts.
especially in these days and time. You know what I mean? I just seen some footage where Jesse Jackson and Al Sharpton was crying because the Chauvin trial and the guy being found guilty. You can save all them tears. We don't need all them tears. We need to be observing documentaries like this and taking this information in and seeing the situation for what it really is. Because the reality of it is that they had a plan to exterminate all the brutes then, and they got a plan to exterminate all the so-called brutes now. And those brutes, us, according to their perspective.
I'm sure
So
we're
it
gonna get
helps to
back.
have.
My bad.
Huh?
My fault.
But
Now, I'm sure we're gonna get back to that, but therein lies your bridge, sir.
Absolutely. I tell you, for me, the one of the things that I think is kind of glossed over in this thing we call his story is the extermination. Let's call it what it is. And it's actually the first in this whole document. The extermination of the Native Americans on North America. The way he laid that out is I've never seen it like that before. You hear about it, and you wonder about it, and then you get all of this, you get all of the Hollywood stuff about Lone Ranger and Tonto, and you see all the cowboy Indians movies. But the way he laid out the systematic extermination of the Native Americans from this land by policy, by brutality, by plunder is the most compelling thing I've ever seen. If you walk away from this documentary with the same mindset, then I don't know if you're capable of thinking for yourself. You know what I mean?
Wow.
You know what I mean? I don't know if you're capable of comprehending the information that he gave, or if you're so indoctrinated into this thing, this historic fable that we've been fed, because that's really what I came away with. I walked away from this shit saying, I don't know shit. You know what I mean? I don't know nothing. Crazy, man. I mean, but yeah, the extermination of the Native Americans from this land, and they got a nerve to have a lot of the towns in the South, or cities, towns that have Native American names. I mean, come on, man, what the fuck?
Yeah, sports organizations, and they just go through a cleansing of the sports organizations out of respect. You really want to give them some respect, give them some of that cheddar that they've been making all these years off of their name.
Yes.
What's interesting to me about what you said, man, in terms of the Native American is, I still, well, let me say this: the way they pushed them off of the fertile land, man. You know what I'm saying? They pushed them off of the fertile land into the worst part of the land, so they couldn't. At that time, they weren't able to fend for themselves. They couldn't farm. You talking about gatherers, hunters, farmers? They pushed them out to the deserts, man. They pushed them up into the mountains where they couldn't live the way they had lived for centuries before they came over here. You know what I mean? The other interesting thing that I learned some time ago is they tried to enslave the Native Americans. Excuse me, but they weren't successful because they were such a proud people that they wouldn't flourish in captivity, they wouldn't eat, they wouldn't nourish themselves, and they wouldn't reproduce. You know what I mean? So they found that to be very unprofitable in terms of enslaving the native people. So they did it to them a different way. You talk about the systemic part of it, or the systematic part of it. They started with changing their look. They took their identity. They took their religions. They took their spirituality. They forced them to pretty much integrate slowly into society until they started taking their color away. You know what I mean? And now we have, what today we refer to as Native Americans, a bunch of pale people. You know what I mean? So they erased a lot of their legacy, man. I often ask people, we have conversations like this, man. When's the last time you saw an Indian? You know, these are the people that were said to be on this land before everybody else got here, right? Where they at now?
The one thing that they did to just further dig into your point, Bill, is they took away their food source, the buffaloes. Buffaloes were their main food source. They had pictures on the internet for the non-believers. They killed all the buffaloes. Millions of buffaloes. Buffaloes used to roam this whole landmass by the millions. That was the Native Americans' food source. It was their food source, clothing. They did so many different things with the buffalo, and that's the first thing that. Well, after they decided that they were going to exterminate the Redskins, is they called. They said, "Okay, let's just kill their food source," and that's what they did. Is systematically kill their food source. They have a picture of this guy standing on it looks like a damn million of buffalo skulls, just a million of it. It's the pictures don't lie, man. And the picture that my brother El Naj got behind him is another one that was shocking to me about what happened in the Congo. Is you want to talk about that, El Naj? Crazy, right?
Oh man.
Yeah, man. This is the thing, man. Like, I know that they have committed the worst acts imaginable. You know what I mean? A lot of it, we ain't gonna always get visuals of it. But then at the same time, they so arrogant, man. They take pictures like these. They revel in their destruction. You know what I mean? And, in the middle right there, if I move to the side,
Yeah,
that's who's responsible.
Leopold.
Yeah,
Leopold.
in the
Leopold.
Congo. And again, we get little excerpts when we find information, but from a practical perspective, in reality, it's even bigger than what the pictures are showing. It's even worse than this. The crimes that have been committed against non-white people, indigenous people worldwide. This is how they operate, man. This is this is their way. War, destruction, bloodshed, thievery, rape, murder. This is when you have a pattern of this type of behavior, at some point it has to be acknowledged as your personal norm. And I don't know what it's going to take, you know what I mean, for other people to wake up and just realize this is just how they get down. You know what I mean? That's why you have words like ethnic, because other cultures, they have culture. They move different. But war, taking over other people's shit, destroying other people's, livelihoods, man. This ain't me making it up. This ain't me like taking a biased perspective. This is just what history teaches. And like I said, they revel in it, they marvel in it, they celebrate the killers. You know what I mean? So this is just what it is, man. And like I said before, the mistake that we often make the mistake of thinking that all of this is just the past. This is how they operate now. They just dress it up. It's like this guy right here in the picture. He's dressed up like a military general or somebody in a position of authority. I'm sure in his time, for him to get away with what he got away with, I'm sure he was respected by many.
Yeah.
You know what I mean? Just like the Dr. Fauci's of today, the Bill
Uh-oh.
Gates of today,
Uh-oh.
respected by many.
Let me
You know what I
interrupt you.
mean?
Can I interrupt you for 1 second?
hmm
You brought up a name, man, Bill Gates, man. I read somewhere more recently that he's the chief owner of farmland in the United States currently. We talk about this docu series, "Exterminating the Brutes." One thing that resonated with me, I think, was in episode 3 when they start talking about Hitler's campaign, to advance Germany, and what he did was the same thing. Ironically, excuse me, he found that the way the red man was moved off of his land and treated was going to be very productive for what he wanted to do. So he acquired or sequestered or took the farmland and pushed all the other people off of it so he could sustain first and foremost is military. You know what I mean? And then everybody else too, man. I'm sorry for the interruption, bro, but I just had to get that one off.
Yeah, well, I mean, that's just to say I see the same thing going on today, man. You know what I mean? Anytime Bill Gates can sit in an interview and tell you, my plan is to exterminate such and such amount of people in a such amount of time. They speaking about these things openly. This isn't a quote unquote conspiracy theory or something that I'm just making up because I feel like talking. This is what they saying. This is what they saying and what they acting on and what they doing. You know what I mean? They dress themselves up a certain way, but at the same time, they have no problem with coming out saying it and acting on it. And I think a lot of the sicknesses, a lot of the illnesses, diseases, a lot of the chaos we experience today as a people, you know what I mean? A lot of this stuff is instigated by these type of people in positions of power. You ask where the Indians at, where the Native Americans is at today, man. I would venture, I would go as far as to say that it's us, man.
Oh,
You
that's
know
where
what
I
I
was
mean?
going with it originally, man. I'm definitely Blackfoot, so
Yeah, we carry that legacy. We carry that
indeed,
legacy.
indeed.
You know what I mean? So this has been a plan to it's a plan. I also look at it as a way of life. This is they feed off of a different source of energy than we do. You know what I mean? We feed off the vibrancy of the sun, energy of each other's, you know what I mean, of family, of you know what I mean, of a positive energy. They feed off of destruction. They love fermented food. Everything about them is about feeding off of death and a lesser energy. It's just how they are, man. It's just how they move. These are just my observations. You know what I mean? I'm not trying to be biased. I'm just trying to figure out why shit like this is going on. Who the fuck can do shit like this and call themselves a human being?
So
No human can do this.
let's touch on exactly what that is for the viewers, man. That's just behind you, man.
Yeah, that was a deep statement you just made. Nas,
Yeah,
you said they
yeah. I'm in
feed off
total.
fermented foods and the destruction of others. That's heavy, bro. That's heavy. That's what we saw in the documentary as well. The genocide, the graphic where he turned the graphic series that he had where Africa was red, and then as everybody went out of Africa into the Americas, it went from red to black. That's compelling, man. And they were just showing the captives. They wasn't even showing the death. So I left, like I said earlier, I came out of that whole series saying, I don't know shit, man. I don't know shit. They didn't,
Mhm.
and now it's time for me to get up out of that I don't know shit frame of mind, and
Oh yeah, absolutely.
for real, man.
And then in modern times, what they do is set up circumstances to condition us to accept the same culture of death and destruction.
That
They
part.
diet. You
Yeah, that
know what I
part.
mean? They diet of death and destruction. And
That
so
part.
now that's for for the black community, that's for a lot of people in the black community, that's how a lot of people are moving. We all touched by it in some form of fashion, but on different levels. Some people have just been totally engulfed by it. You know what I mean? To the point where they pay celebrities, they pay rappers, they pay musicians, they pay everybody they can to promote a lifestyle of falsehood and death and destruction and an unnatural reality, and they make that the norm, make that the trend. So what ends up happening now is we become complicit in their crime, so they can fall back. They don't gotta cause bloodshed no more. They created the situation for us to cause bloodshed. You know what I'm saying? So that's how slick. That's how they modernize. Like here, you see, if they was to try to do this today openly, it might not be as effective. You know what I'm saying? But what they do is create situations for us to turn on each other, like Rwanda. You know what I mean? Like North Philly. You know what I mean? drugs and
Chicago.
guns. Yeah,
LA.
you know what I'm saying? Right. You know what I'm saying? Then they come in with they officers. You know what I'm saying? Clean up the finish the job.
The peace officers.
Yeah.
Yeah,
You know.
you hit on a lot of different things right there, man. The one thing that's starting to bother me, man, as I start to look at what's happening in the current event side of things is I'm seeing people try to justify this bullshit in Columbus, man. What the fuck is what?
Which one is that? Is that it's
That's
crazy?
the
You
young
gotta ask
sister, man. That's the young sister, man, with the
Right.
knife. What I don't give a fuck what she had.
See this?
If another motherfucker can go in a church and kill, I don't even, what was the count? Like 12, 20 people, and they take his ass to McDonald's. I don't give a damn if she had a submachine gun. If she could be talked to just like this dude was, she don't have to die. So I'm seeing people, man, black people, try to justify this shit to me. I'm like, man, get the fuck away from me with that dumb shit. You sound like an indoctrinated idiot. You know what I mean?
I really appreciate hearing that. You know what I'm saying? Because
I enjoy hearing that.
Yeah, my thing with that situation, in all situations, is we got to stop talking. We got to stop having these conversations as though these are isolated situations, debating about the specifics of each isolated situation. In the last some odd years, that's never helped us. People have been getting murdered by police before I was even born, and arguing about each isolated incident is not helping us. The bottom line is that they body count is through the roof. And it's time to stop. I don't give a fuck what the situation is at this point. If you coming into a black neighborhood, you pulling the trigger, you know what I'm saying, on a young black person or an older black person or whatever the case may be. And it's not, you know what I'm saying, and it's in, at the end of the day, it's time for this shit to stop. It's time for this shit to stop. That's it. Now, what I will say, I've watched that video, and the young girl was in the act of stabbing the other girl, and that's where a lot of people, obviously, because of how they been trained to think, they can make the case to say, well, she was stabbing the other girl, so wouldn't you want the cop, if that was your daughter, wouldn't you want the cop to shoot? You know what I'm saying? The fact that it's so easy just to accept the fact that the cop shot her, that's where the problem lies in that. You know what I'm saying? The fact that it's so easy to just say, oh, well, she was about to stab her, so fuck it. You know what I mean? When we can see all these different situations, like the young boy that shot up the protesters and walked down the street with the AR, you know what I'm saying? Walked right past the cops and they ain't do nothing to him.
Walked right by the motherfucking po-po.
Yeah, I was going
to
introduce that.
So,
yeah.
Well, right by,
see
man. They
time
ain't
and time
seen
again. Right.
They
So, I mean, at the end of the day, yeah. At the end of the day, regardless of the specifics of the circumstances, they have an agenda to exterminate all brutes. I just uploaded a post today from a training program for police officers. And all, police officers and FBI agents are required to read this person's books and go through his trainings and all that. He was saying, as an officer, when you shoot somebody, you got to train to feel good after you shoot. So they train them to feel good about killing us.
I think I know what you're talking about. My older white dude, right?
Yeah.
Yeah, he's.
You know what I mean? But at the end of the day,
at
the end of the day, you don't have black officers going into white neighborhoods killing white people at such an alarming rate. Knife or no knife.
So how about this? It appears to me that only black people are getting killed. I don't see any other kind of American that, dealing with this kind of pestilence, man. There's this kind of full frontal attack. For me, it's a lot of people that are rejoicing about this potential 40-year sentence for Chauvin, right? I'm more the mindset now that we got this out the way, right? We got a conviction. Why can't we retry all these other ones? Why can't we try these ones that just happened? I mean,
Absolutely.
for crying out
Absolutely.
loud, man. On the same week of the trial, we had another fucking murder.
I was about to say that same damn point.
You know what
But
I
yeah,
mean?
you hit it. Go ahead and run with that shit, bro.
And it was completely glossed over. I mean, you know what I mean?
Motherfuckers singing and dancing. Motherfucker
They
got
singing and
as soon
dancing
as,
about the chauvinism shit, but
I'm sick
in
of
the
the singing
same,
and dancing, by the way, man. Sit the
I'm
fuck
done with
down.
that. I'm done with that. You know, in the next few days, you had what, two more children? I mean,
Children.
you know, are we really that desensitized to this shit?
Man, the white boy, Chris Cuomo, the CNN motherfucker said, this shit ain't gonna stop till white folks' kids start getting killed, man. That's what he said.
Point in
I
case.
mean, but
Point. Hold on, Dre.
no,
Excuse me, Dre.
but
1 second, please, Dre. Point in case. Dante Wright was white people's children.
Yeah, that's what I'm saying, man. They don't care if you with your motherfucking family or not, man. You
His
the
mother's
child.
white. His mother was white. Is white. I'm sorry. His mother is white. Dante's right mother is white.
They didn't see that when they was killing them.
Right. So it just goes to show you that, man. You know that old adage, what, one drop of black blood don't matter.
Yeah,
Don't matter, man. They out to get us, bro. They taking our babies, man. You know they shit crazy, bro. And back to the topic that we're talking about, exterminate the brutes, man. That
it
just
all mixes, man. This shit is like a
exactly
whole cesspool of bullshit, man.
that shit just embodied everything that you're looking at, man. It gave you the birth of it. It chronicled the journey of it through the centuries, brought you right up to present day. And then we're sitting here in America, greatest country in the world, watching just this year alone. We're watching multiple police murders. I mean, you got a cop screaming out taser, looking down the barrel of a fucking 9mm, screaming taser. I'm thinking it's a fucking initiation or something. Shit don't make no sense to me, man.
we just had the incident where the young boy had a gun in school for whatever reason, and the cops ran up on him, and the cop shot his partner. But when it came out in the story, they said that the young boy shot the cop. They shot the young boy. Of course, they killed him. And their excuse was because he fired off on the cop. But the reality of it is that now it's coming out that the cop shot his partner.
So they even spoke to that in Exterminate the Bruce, the necessity of collateral damage.
Yeah, that's what I'm saying. He gave us so much in this 4-part series. Like you almost got to watch it a couple times.
Oh
Man,
yeah, you definitely gotta watch it more than once.
yeah, because yeah, like Mill said, he gave you like the excuses, the everything that happens for what's happening. You know what I mean? Why? You know what I mean? So
Let me tell you, it's a burden for those that see and feel the threat. It's a burden to carry that and appear normal every day. Because even when you speak on it, people tend to think that you're speaking extreme. You know what I mean? Like when you hear me say, oh, these devils is out of control. You know what I'm saying? You know what I'm saying? It sounds extreme.
it
You know what I
does,
mean?
but you know what? I always consume it though. That's the part of it that you have to consume. Because the reality is when Malcolm was saying what he was saying, like the bourgeoisie class, they were like, that motherfucker over there
Right.
talking all that extremist bullshit.
Right.
But the reality is it's not extremist at all. It's the reality of the shit. Oh, you think you special, huh? You one of them special ones, huh? Okay.
Right.
All right. Come see me when they jam your ass up and you get your moment. Because everybody get a moment, man.
Right.
Everybody
it's
get a moment.
it's a burden to carry that and appear normal. So, this documentary for me, it definitely is a reminder like, okay, I'm not tripping.
No, you ain't.
Crazy. This is all what's been floating around in my head. This is what I've been seeing since as far back as I can remember paying attention. Like, this is what's been going on in my head. So to see the visuals and to see somebody lay it all out, it's like, oh, nah, I ain't crazy.
No, you ain't crazy, man. Not at all, man.
These devils are, they lurking. Vampires.
I tell you, the more and more I'm exposed to, the more and more, like I said earlier, I don't know shit. The admission is part of the process. You know what I mean?
That's right.
You know what I mean? I don't know shit.
So, Feek, I think you just spoke to something that's paramount, man. You know what I mean? A phenomenon that I noticed is that a lot of black people have changed their position in society. Under the guise that their position, their condition. I'm sorry, their condition in society has also changed. And more recently, we've been saying that is just not the fucking case. You know what I mean? You can be as well off as you so choose to be. You have children, you have siblings, you have cousins, mothers, fathers that aren't you. You know what I mean? So they're not going to. They're still dealing with the pestilence of white America and their need for dominance, man. Dread, I hear what you're saying about how they move and how they operate off of the weak or the meek. You know what I mean? And that's true. That's their whole existence is built off of that. You know what I mean? From the time they came out the caves, man, and our foreparents allowed them to do commerce and trade, and we decided to educate them. You know what I'm saying? They had a nefarious plan the whole time. They don't exist unless they have us to stand on. You know, I don't think I'm with you, man. I don't know what people are looking at. Our babies are being gunned the fuck down in the streets by the people that we pay to be protectors. The
Listen, man.
judicial system is not serving justice.
Listen, man. I'm telling you, I'm begging you. If you care anything about me, if you see me going through shit, do not fucking call 911. You're killing me. If you call 911 and I find out about it, and say you try to kill me. That's the only joke I'm gonna make tonight.
All right, I'm going back under.
That's all I'm gonna say. If you call 911,
I echo that, man. Yeah,
you're trying to kill me. Man.
If you gonna help me. Don't call them motherfuckers.
I mean, listen, man, just even hearing that, man, like I'm right there with you, but just hearing that to me is so upsetting. You know what I mean? That we even gotta think that way. You know what I'm saying? I mean, I've been thinking that way damn near my whole life. But the reality is just starting to come out more out in the open, you know what I mean? And it's just hearing that is like, yo, that's crazy that we gotta think that way.
Well, that's it though. Like, I mean, that's the whole thing, man. That the whole thing is just right in your face. Each and every one of us, man. If you black, brown, yellow, you know what I mean? Whatever you want to attach yourself, non-white is what I'm saying. And if you haven't been paying attention to history, I don't know where you've been at.
I mean, the fact.
Let me say this real quick, Dre, and I'm done. It's not even about an economic thing anymore, man. Like, I mean,
I was going to say something too. I'm gonna follow up at the dread on that because I got something.
Buy your way out. You can make all the money in the fucking world. It's not going to change who you are to these folks, man.
You know, go ahead, man.
The sad part about that is, if it wasn't us, it wouldn't be no them in the first place. We the apex, we the chosen people, man. We the original people of this earth, man. You know what I'm saying? Shit crazy, man. And again, Exterminate the Brutes. If you have not seen it, sit down, watch it with your family. It's a tough watch. Educate your family. Let them know. Let them know. Let them see. You don't gotta let them know. You ain't gotta say shit. Let Raul Peck tell him. I'm done.
By the way, before Naj come in, I'm just say the brother narrates with such precision, and his voice just fits the cinematography of the whole series. It's a perfect match. Perfect match.
Yeah.
I think in our beginning stages, I raised the question: are Black people under duress? You remember that, Mill?
You reading my mind, bro. You reading
And
my mind.
the definition of duress: threats, violence, constraints, other action brought to bear someone to do something against their will or better judgment. That's a very important definition. Threats, violence, constraints, or other actions brought to bear on someone to do something against their will or better judgment. So again, I ask the question: is the Black community under duress?
Completely.
I feel the spirit of our brother Uncle Vu in here. You know, he wants the definitions. I feel the spirit of him.
Right. Well, I'm gonna follow that up, man.
Yeah, rest. Absolutely.
We had another topic that we talked on. I mean, do we suffer from Stockholm syndrome?
I mean, we definitely, according to the definition of duress, we're not acting according to our better judgment. You know, and the threat, the violence, the constraints, all that's there.
All the components are definitely there. Yes, we are under duress. To answer your question directly, completely under duress.
So with that comes everything: Stockholm syndrome, rap music, poor eating habits.
You don't say it, Feek. Don't say it, Feek.
Say what? Well, say what? Say what?
Crack.
No, I'm not gonna say it, man. We know that, man. We know that
Crack.
That was a factor.
The crack epidemic. The crack. Yeah. That's definitely part of it. The crack epidemic is definitely part of it. You know what? we had a unique point in the show for me, man. This is where it becomes completely enjoyable to me, man. When we sit here, man, and as we, expressing ourselves, man, as eloquently as we do sometimes, episodes just start playing back in my head that we've done already, and how all of this stays connected, it stays linked, man. You know what I mean? And I just want to take a brief moment to commend both of y'all brothers on that, man. I appreciate y'all for that.
Thanks, sure.
Bill, you're always giving out flowers, man. I'm gonna go ahead and accept it, man.
Yes, sir.
I'm accepting, man.
Well, I feel the need, in the absence of brother Alvu, Stockholm syndrome is a psychological response. It occurs when hostages or abused victims bond with their captors and abusers. Psychological connection develops over the course of the days, weeks, months, even years of captivity or abuse. I say that to say, Feek, you said that you said something about, how accepting people are, looking for excuses as to why they're shooting our people down in the street. You know what I mean? Definition of Stockholm syndrome.
Absolutely.
So I thought that was. Go ahead, Dre.
And it's not a new phenomenon, man. This goes all the way back to the plantations, man. Absolutely. Who was the first one to go back and tell about the plan? You know what I mean? So,
I want to go back to that police training video where he says the police, you got to enjoy it. You got to be happy after a shoot. You got to feel good about it. You know what I mean? I want to go back to this picture. Like, so this dude in the middle, King Leopold, you know what I mean? If they didn't fulfill their quota for the day or whatever have you, they got their hands chopped off, right? So not only did this devil chop their hands off, they took it as far as to have them pose for a picture afterwards. This ain't the only picture. There's lots of pictures like this.
Oh, it's plenty of them. They got people holding hands, man. Other people.
I mean, so not only did he chop their hands off, but then he had them pose for a picture, recorded afterwards. This is the same thing going on today with these dash cam and these body cameras and all this. You know what I'm saying? Like
I just
they
said it,
give us,
man. It's initiation, man. It has to be.
they make us feel like, okay, they got body cameras on, so this is going to slow down the onslaught. But since they started wearing body cameras, you start seeing more killings because they don't give a shit about it being recorded at the end of the day.
Why should they?
When the bull put his knee on George Floyd's neck, he was comfortable with the cameras in his face.
You know what? I was just talking to somebody
This
about
shit
that
is
today.
porn. This shit is porn. This shit is porn. That's what we saying, right? This shit is porn.
Yeah, in some form.
Motherfuckers watching this shit.
They're getting off on it. Probably a couple of them sick fuckers out there
Motherfuckers
banging
jacking
off.
their nuts watching this shit, man.
Yeah, they probably banging off and everything over this shit, man. I agree.
They're not concerned about it being recorded.
Why should they
To the
be?
extent that we think,
Why should they be?
at the end of the day, it's only one way to stop it. Like I said, outside of some spiritual revolution, some mental revolution that may not be in the process of taking place, I would like to think that it is. You know what I'm saying? You know, on a basic physical third dimensional level, there's only one thing that I've ever seen them. Only one language that they speak.
Violence. How they say it in what's that movie? Wesley Snipes, Murder, Death, Kill.
Now the thing is that we don't necessarily have to define war or define our response the same way. We can strategize on levels. I honestly think that, with a certain level of commitment, we can strategize on levels that don't have to involve the same type of chaos. But we have to respond in some way other than goddamn crying, dancing in the streets.
Protesting.
I think ultimately in protesting, but I think even before that happens, I think we need a moment of stillness. First and foremost, we need a moment of stillness, self-reflection, soul searching. Because before you do go into any type of battle, any type of sport or battle or conflict or anything as such, you got to take time to prepare, and condition, and train, and think and build.
You know what, man? That just made me think of something. Um, you know, we had such a feel good moment about 4 months ago, right? The inauguration and the presidential elections.
Who's we? Who the fuck is we, first of all? I need to say that, man.
Yeah, that weed shit is tricky. Ain't it? Clearly, Feek is having his moment of soul searching and self reflecting right now.
Like, saying who's we, bro?
He is in his moment of stillness right now.
Yo, he stopped me cool, bro. Okay, present company excluded. The metaphorical we, okay? Point well taken. But what I'm trying to say is, I think we missed that moment of silence, man, of doing nothing. We missed it because we ran to them fucking polls and ushered in these fucking people with all these hopes and promises, man. And the murders haven't stopped. These motherfuckers ain't on TV making no announcements. You know what I'm saying? They're not demanding that these police officers, be tried the way they should be tried. You understand what I'm saying? They got what they wanted already. You dig? I think that was a time for us to do nothing when they needed us most. We should have done absolutely fucking nothing. You know what I mean?
Yeah, I agree with that.
Deal with the local shit. Deal with the local shit, but on the national level, we should have just chilled, man. We should have let them. That's y'all business. Y'all handle that shit. Y'all don't care about us any fucking way.
Well, see, the thing is that even if it's just people such as myself and y'all, that's more than a start. You know what I mean? Like, I don't expect it to be everybody. Like, when you talk about that Stockholm syndrome, you know what I mean? Just reading YouTube comments and just seeing how people thinking and operating, I can't even expect. Some of these people just ain't going in from the bullshit. Like, they in it. win it. Like they love Kamala, they bow down to Joe. It don't matter whoever the next white president gonna be, whoever, you know what I'm saying? It's just some people, man, some black people, some non-white people, whatever the case may be, man. It's just some people that's really suffering from that Stockholm syndrome. The abuse and the duress is overtaking their soul. You know what I'm saying? And so
Great.
that's where I realized people like us, you know, without sounding like I'm tooting my own horn and that, and I think we superheroes in a sense, because I think just by having certain thoughts and just moving with a certain discipline and just being as focused as we know how to be, I think that it reverberates. You know what I mean? On some levels. That's why I said I would like to think that they're unseen. There are things taking place, unseen realms, that things moving that aren't so obvious. You know what I mean? In our favor. I would like to think that. I would also like to think that these devils are getting weaker over a course of time, because that just seems to be the basic science of it. You know what I mean?
Yeah, but they are getting weaker. Bill Gates told you that. He said if we don't exterminate, was it 3 billion, 6 billion? What was the number? Some
Right.
ridiculous fucking number. If we don't exterminate that off the planet Earth, we will not be able to sustain.
Right.
Well,
People say, who the fuck is we, right? Hey.
Well, he ain't so callous as to use the word exterminate. What was the word?
Oh no, he definitely
probably something
depopulate. My bad.
Real smooth.
Yeah, he said depopulate.
Depopulate. My bad.
Real smooth, like
it's a big difference. It's a big difference. Yeah.
Shit, what was it? Margaret Sanger? She didn't say that either.
Right.
You know.
Right.
No, she said that. She said we must exterminate the Negro. She did say that.
I'm gonna have to peep that.
She said we got to do that. She said we got to do it in a way where they don't realize we doing it, and we got to use their preachers.
No, she's held up as an icon now, right?
Yeah, and you know, from what I understand, Bill Gates, they all from the same bloodline.
Right.
Yeah, she's held up as an icon.
Alistair Crowley, ain't they from that bloodline? Are they the ones that's from that bloodline?
All of them, man. All of them.
Y'all don't know who Alistair Crowley is? Look him up.
You know what, Mel? You had me thinking when you was talking about Joe and Kamala. In the documentary, they talked about Truman, right? Truman dropped the bomb, man.
Right.
You know, Truman is revered as one of the better presidents of this country, right?
Absolutely.
All they killers are.
He just said that earlier.
Cut through the bullshit, right?
He just said that earlier. They exalt their mass murderers.
All they killers, they love them.
I'm gonna create a word. They exalt their genocidists.
Genocidists.
Even they serial killers. That's why they got movies. They got movies on Ted Bundy and all.
Manson is a fucking cultural icon.
They ain't do a movie on Charles Manson though, did they?
They did a bunch of documentaries.
Of movies on Manson.
Yeah, they got a bunch of documentaries. He's a cult classic.
Yeah.
Cultural fucking icon.
Yeah, so you know, that's their culture, man. They love
their
movie
on Jeffrey Dahmer.
Dahmer got a couple.
Dahmer got a movie. You know what I mean? My man Marty Graham ain't get one though.
Hey man, y'all know it ain't a show unless I put something up, man. This is I haven't even read this yet, man, but this is something that I'm gonna peep out, man.
Yeah.
You know, the name of it is A Peculiar Indifference, the neglected toll of violence on Black America. So it hits on what you was talking about, Naj.
Right.
It hits on it, man.
Yeah, right. I like to bring up an author too, man. I don't think I have my book near me, but you know, it's Musaka Barashengo.
Say that again. You came away from the mic.
Oh my bad. Ishmushaka Barashengo.
Oh yeah, that's who Naj highlighted when we was talking about the ancestors.
Right. Yeah, he has 2 books out, man. The European. What's the name of them? Let me get it.
By the way, family that's watching, we always kind of like to try to put a book up or two to kind of highlight that we just not pulling shit out our ass. You know what I mean?
Right.
We got a little bit behind us.
African people in Europe.
Put it up a little bit more, Mel. Okay.
Background.
Yeah. Okay.
African people and European holidays, a mental genocide. Check it out. Volume 1 and 2.
Shaka Musa Barashingo.
Shaka Musa. What I call him?
It's all good.
Yeah, I fucked that up, right?
But yeah.
I call
Like I
it
said, man,
Shaka.
we
I always
always
thought
try
it
to
was
put up
Shaka.
a book or two just to show you that we got a little bit behind us. We ain't just pulling shit out of our ass.
Right, man. You know,
But yeah, my takeaway for the 4-part series is that Raoul Peck is somebody to be reckoned with. Now he's been around a while, but you know he's been doing his work in anonymity. You know what I mean? You know he's behind the scenes. He said, "Fuck that behind the scenes shit. I need this shit is so serious. I need to get out in front." So this 4-part series where he got out front, did the narration and everything, solidify him as somebody to be reckoned with. So I'm digging into his YouTube stuff. I'm finding out, man, that this Haitian brother is serious about his business, man. He's trying to get the word out that all of this shit that you heard previously about the past events, I'm not even gonna call it history no more because that's not. It's a fable. You can't even call it his story. It's a fable. He's saying, man, find out what really happened so you can have a sense of how you step in this world, man.
Yeah.
You
know, I watched his interview about Exterminate the Brutes. His words, man, very powerful, man. You know, he was saying that how after he did Baldwin's I Am Not Your Negro, he was looking
Still
for
here.
something. Huh? What'd you say, Dred?
I think Dred froze, man.
Um after he did that, man, he was looking for something that he could follow up, man. You know what I mean? You know, something that was gonna be equally, if not more compelling. Because that opened him up mentally in such a way that he needed to express more. I mean, he wanted to tell more of the truth, man. And that's what he came up with, you know, Exterminate the Brutes after he read the book.
Oh, absolutely, man.
You know,
absolutely,
I think
man.
he coupled a couple other books into this as well.
He did.
Yeah.
He did. I forget the name of it, but a colleague of mine, man. He good brother, man. One of these days, man, I want to have him come on, man. He's from Trinidad, and good brother, man. I've known him for about 4 years now, and we talk, man. And now listen, the one thing that I think, which goes to our point about Black people knowing other Black people from different parts of the country, is we all got to come to the table with a mindset of understanding, not judgment.
Right.
So we came to the table with that understanding of, you know, understanding, and I'm finding out more about Trinidad and Tobago than matter of fact, man. We talking about going. I'm gonna go over there with him and fuck around and get in some trouble or some shit. You know what I mean? But I just say that to say that dynamic brother, man. Our brothers around the continent, man. I don't know if we there's sometimes there's a disconnect. I'll say this. Until we both come to the table with a mindset of understanding. There's some judgment that goes on both ways. I mean, but if we come to the table with the mindset of understanding, man, we find out that we learn more than about each other. There's a cultural exchange. And I say that to say about Raoul Peck. He's originally from Haiti. And we're finding out now that, you know, we got similar mindsets, you know, and
we have a similar
plays into everything that we, you know, this genocidal thing that he talked about in this 4-part series. We all think about that shit. Well, how remember the Alamo? What the fuck is that? Oh, this is some old bullshit, basically, right? So if we come to the table with more understanding, we'll find out that we have more in common with Africans around this continent than we don't. So,
Well, I think all over the world we see the same pattern, right? I think what happens is, man, is that we tend to look at things through the lens of our tribe and our experiences. And what ends up happening is we lose sight sometimes of the fact that we all are experiencing, no matter where I've been or where I've gone, I've seen the mark of the beast. You know what I'm saying? And how it's affected those people. You know what I'm saying? It don't matter whether I'm in Mexico or whether I'm in Jamaica. You know what I'm saying? Whether I'm in the United States. No matter where I go, non-white people have suffered under the hands of the white race.
So I mean, I
You know
think
what I mean?
that just completely embody what you said earlier, man. You said that we need to stop looking at these as separate incidences. Separate incidents. You know what I mean? And we need to look at it as a collective. So I'm gonna take that same thing and build it out a little bit more. I'm gonna use a quote that Bob Marley said, man. It said, we are all Africans scattered abroad. We tend to think that our pestilence outweighs our brothers and our sisters' pestilence in different parts of the world. One thing that I took away from exterminate the brutes, was that he traveled the whole Western Hemisphere with his story. His story spanned the entire Western Hemisphere, and it showed you how it spread straight up and all through that. Like, you know what I mean. So what you're saying again is pretty powerful. Both of y'all said it's pretty powerful, man. We got to stop looking for these subtle differences that make us. That's his ploy: divide and conquer, keep us separate. You know what I mean? There's no camaraderie in that. There's no building in that, man. At the end of the day, man, we all pretty much the same bloodline. Where we from? South America.
that's pretty much what I got out of that,
Yeah,
man.
you know what I mean. All the way up to North America, through the Caribbean, the whole nine. We are all the
Especially,
same.
especially that graphic series that he did. We had everything coming out of Africa going to the Americas. That was that was some powerful shit right there, man. Matter of fact, I whenever because I didn't watch it a couple times now, man. The second time I had the same response I had the first time, like, what the fuck did I just watch there? You know what I mean? So
Yeah, for
it's
me,
it's deep, bro.
it was kind of like a refresher course, almost. You know what I mean? I'm aware of a lot
Yeah,
of
we
that stuff,
all are, but man, when you see it
but
like
when you
that,
have
man,
to see it like
shit.
that, it's kind of like watching Chauvin Neal on George Floyd's neck, man.
Yeah.
You know what I mean? It's just that it's that impactful.
I mean, like I said, for me, man, I'm so used to people responding to me a certain way when I start talking about certain things. They start responding as though, like, you know what I mean? I often hear people say, well, not all white people are bad. And I'm like, fam, I'm intelligent enough to understand you know what I mean? Like, like,
Yeah, that mindset. I get you,
so
man.
so
Yeah, it's
so
that fucking
so
mindset, man.
Ellen Nodge, you be like, man, motherfucker, don't patronize me, bitch.
Yeah, my man in red phone tonight, bro.
Yeah, I didn't have a couple drinks in me. That's like, yeah, I'm all
ain't, no,
good though.
ain't
Still,
nothing wrong with it, man. You
I'm
you
killing
know what
them
I'm
still
saying?
good.
shades too, brother.
So,
Y'all
this,
made me
this
go
move,
put my joints on.
yeah, so this for me was like a confirmation, like a comfort almost. Like, it's okay.
Yeah,
Like,
that's what I'm saying.
it's okay to acknowledge the truth for what it is. You know what I'm saying? I'm not out here spazzing out the way that I feel inside. I'm not really projecting that. You know what I mean?
I'm not
But
inciting any riots
yeah, I'm right. I'm
You
saying,
know what
like,
the issue? You know
yet.
the funny thing is it's almost it goes back to your point, Dre. We're operating under duress, right? To even acknowledge that.
yes, yes,
To even acknowledge that. We're like you said, you'll get some.
yes.
It's always one. Listen, it's
You
always
can end, you can end up with your hands chopped off just for even
it,
acknowledging it.
it's always one. You'd be like, yeah, man, this is some bullshit. Well, not all. white people.
Right.
What?
Imagine saying some shit like that to the people in these pictures. They're not all bad.
Yeah.
What that got to do with my hand getting chopped off?
And guess what, man? Go ahead, man.
Let me address the elephant in the room before we get labeled as anti-white. No, all white
but
people.
hold on though. But let me say this though. The picture, I keep looking at Ellen Dodge's picture, right? Look at the facial expression. That's not the first fucking take.
Oh no, they position you.
That's
you
not
seen
the
it on
first
Exterminating the
take
Brutes.
they took of them. You know they didn't have that first take, man.
Listen, you saw it on Exterminating the Brutes.
Listen, man, we need you to fucking look like you happy.
This has to be authentic. Hey, move the hand, move the foot.
Under the threat of a fucking gun, probably.
Oh, under the threat of chopping your other hand the fuck off. Yeah. Under the threat of chopping your other hand off.
Yeah, exactly, man. If you don't fucking smile in this picture, I'm cutting the other one off. Yeah,
think about it.
Man. God
think
damn.
about it. Let's think about this, man. They showed us this, man, in the 70s with Roots. They got the cutting on Kunta, didn't they?
You talking about when they cut off my man's foot?
Yeah, absolutely.
Yeah.
You know what I'm saying? You keep running so much, we're gonna make it so you can't run. Chop that son bitch off. You understand what I'm saying? So they showed us their brutality, even in the softest version of their truth, or what they were allowed to be their truth, would be seen as their truth. You know what I mean? And to see it now, to see where that mindset came from, you dig what I'm saying? You go back to Leopold. You go back to a lot of other European leaders. All these campaigns, Belgium, into Africa. You know what I'm saying? The Italians into Africa. You know what I mean? This is what they did. And the ones and the guys, the leaders who rose up to fight them, they demonized them. They had me thinking in my youth that Idi Amin was a freaking cannibal. They said he was killing his people, then eating them.
Man, listen. That laugh wasn't a ha ha he laugh.
That was an aha moment. I get it, bro.
It's painful, man.
You know, there's a meme out that says, "I'm not my ancestors." That implies that our ancestors didn't fight against haven't been fighting against these devils.
Which is some bullshit.
Look at your background. That's why they got their hand cut off, because they was fighting.
Right. And the only reason they not out here on the same level of brutality is because people fought back. So they got to operate in a more covert fashion. They still very well capable of the same level of brutality if they knew they can get away with it.
Oh man, they shot a girl for, okay, she might have re-stabbed somebody. He could shot her in the leg. He had to shoot at all. He could just ran up there and grabbed the fucking arm.
Exactly.
You know, and you know, another thing that stirs me about that too, man. Like, you know, all of the cinematography, man. You know, the people sitting around taping every fucking thing instead of intervening.
Yeah.
You know what I mean?
What the fuck is going on with all that?
Now, with that said, in all of this, like it or not, there's an accountability. It's important to hold them accountable. There's an accountability that falls on us in the midst of all of this. I don't want to get the creating the impression that I'm diverting that. You know what I'm saying? It's definitely an accountability that falls on us in terms, because at the end of the day, just like I said, it's like they playing a pool game. Like, in order to win that pool, you got to be able to play off your opponent's mistakes. They play off of our tribal war. They play off of our lust. They play off of us falling into the trap. You know what I'm saying? There's an accountability that falls on us to not fall into those traps for whatever it's worth. Outthink them, outsmart them. That's where a lot of people start trying to present arguments like, oh, well, this could have happened, that should have happened. You know what I mean? There's some truth to that, to the extent that there is an accountability. We have to step up in order for anything to move, in order for anything to change. We gotta. I do agree that we gotta take accountability for our behavior. At the end of the day, in doing so, I'm not going to ignore or deny what's being done to instigate, to promote our demise in the process.
I'm glad you pointed that out because that's not what that statement was intended to generate. And again, dealing with the rest and the Stockholm syndrome, people will take it and run and put it right back on us, man. I hear a lot when we
Here's
talk
something
about.
here's something that I've done, brothers, is it might be a little drastic for some people out here too, man, but I stopped watching all fucking cop shows and shit, man.
I never
Any
watched that
of them.
bullshit.
Law
No
and
need to.
Order,
I never watched that.
Law and
Oh.
Order, all that shit. What was it? The Chicago PD.
Oh, let's get on Chicago PD, bro.
All that
that-
shit. I don't watch none of that shit, man. That shit
How come
just
the black dude is the only-
desensitizes you to violence against black people, man. Come on, man.
Peep this about Chicago PD real quick, right?
I hate that show, by the way, man.
How
Fuck
come-
that show.
How come the black dude is the only one on the show that can't get a woman?
I don't watch it that much, man.
The
But
white bulls is fucking out both pants legs, man. The black bull cannot get a chick.
Let me tell you, I watch Chicago PD because I see it as pure propaganda.
oh, you watch
know
it?
what I mean?
You do watch
That's
it?
where I'm going with this.
It's pure propaganda, yo. It really gives me some insight into how, it's like
The
I was saying
mentality.
about reading YouTube comments, like it gives me insight in terms of how they think, and how they operate, how they
Because somebody
define
writing that shit, right?
Yeah.
Absolutely.
It's pure propaganda. Pure police propaganda.
Prior nigga too.
I mean, right now they playing real heavy off the idea of cops being corrupt or not corrupt, or cops being held accountable, but not deserving to really be like. Tonight's episode was about a dude who was raping chicks and got off because the cop beat him up or something. You know what I mean? He spit on the cop beat him up, so he got off for rape and then kept raping more women. So the propaganda and all of it is that, it's police reform, but the police reform is really making crime worse. You know what I'm saying?
Absolutely.
How about when the white boy shot the black boy, ran up in there and shot the black boy for no reason? He was selling some sneakers or
Oh
something.
yeah. I saw that one.
And the black boy was like, "Yo, it wasn't a clean shoot. You should never mess with him from the joint."
Look at you with the lingo and everything. Look at you, man.
Listen.
Clean shoot.
Hey, you a funny dude.
And they terrorized them. And at the end, the only way everybody told him to stand down. Even his boss man told him to stand down. At the end of the day, the only way he got them to stop terrorizing them is he had to terrorize them. He had to threaten them.
He went after
When he
the big
threatened
dog.
them,
Yeah, he went after the big dog. When he came home.
right.
Yeah. So yeah, we could do this. We could do this forever, nigga.
Listen, man, I can't get past I watched it a couple times, man, but I've begged off from it now. But I can't get past the one dude that's in charge whooping everybody's ass, man. He ain't got that power behind him to be whooping everybody's ass like that. You know what I mean?
My man Voight.
That's his twist.
Have you ever seen them? Have you ever seen California? We way off the topic. Have you
Well,
ever
I'm
seen
just saying, man.
Have you ever seen Californication?
Yeah, I've seen it.
So you know Hank Voight is the boy that's running around the city naked every time he get high, right?
Yeah, the main character. Yeah, man,
But yeah, all that to say, man, that the same exact tactics and way of living, exterminating all the brutes historically, it's all going on still today. You know what I mean? It's just happening. I want to say it's happening more covert, but at this point, I'm not even sure how
Covert.
how true that is, because it's like, you know what I'm saying?
It's just mediated better now. The media plays into this whole thing, man.
Right.
Yeah,
plays into this whole thing. Man.
You know what I mean? And at the end of the day, I'm like I said, man, since as far back as I can remember, man, I've always had this feeling of duress. I feel like I watched my mother, my grandfather, my father, all those that came before me always had. We just such a resilient and thorough people that we wear it well. We dress it well. We overcome. We push forward. This is what's always instilled in our mentality. The reality of it is that other cultures don't have to have that instilled in that same way. They get the opportunity to explore who they are and figure out what they want to do. For us, it's always about overcoming some challenges from the time as far back as what we can remember. Overcome this, conquer this, win. You know what I mean? Oh, you know what I'm saying? It's always about overcoming that sense of duress.
You got a whole song about it.
I got some last words on it, man. Then I'm gonna ask you brothers for some last words on it, man. What we just talked about, and Naj, you hit it up perfectly. And my analogy for us as a people, not just the people that's supposedly doing well, talking about us as a whole, across the globe. I just picture us walking around with bent backs, man. Everybody got a bent back because they're trying to conform to some bullshit, man, because we're under duress, to use your word right now. So we got a whole bunch of bent back motherfuckers, not because they want to be bent back. We bent back because we're trying to survive. We under duress, man. Bottom line, man.
This whole vaccine situation, this is a form of duress. People are getting the vaccine more so because they're afraid of not having certain freedoms, or they're afraid of what they've been told. Right. Or they're afraid of what they've been conditioned to think as far as, you know what I mean, the so-called virus is concerned. But it's all being promoted under the umbrella of distress, of duress, rather.
Yeah, my work has been threatened if I don't get vaccinated.
Is that right?
Yeah.
You under duress, man?
Absolutely.
I mean, I ain't bullshitting. I'm
dead ass, because they told me if we don't get it by the 31st, then we can't come into our job.
Fuck.
The ironic part in that for me is I've been working, I haven't had a break in employment this whole pandemic. You know what I mean? I'm considered to be essential, but I'm not essential enough that if I don't take what you want me to take, you're keeping me. So,
Well, yeah, what you just said is duress for real.
Oh, absolutely.
All I know is that historically,
Cash out.
whenever they have had mass injections of non-white people, it never ended well, historically. From Africa with AIDS, the Tuskegee experiment, and so on and so forth. I don't see how this can end well because they don't have a track record as such. And so that puts us in a very difficult position. When they say you can't go to school, you can't fly, you can't work,
You can't earn a living.
Can't earn a living.
Unless you allow us to inject you with a mystery mix. We have no authority over our being at that point.
Now with that nanotechnology they're using. I had a friend of mine, man, actually shoot me a photo today, man, where her lymph nodes were all swollen underneath her arm from this vaccine. So, I understand lymph nodes fight off infection.
Well, your lymph nodes is that's your whole. You're right. To just make it simplified, yes, indeed.
Right. It's meant to fight off infection, viruses and infection. That's what your lymph nodes are for. So if you're injecting somebody with a vaccine and you get swollen lymph nodes from it, I mean, I don't know what that says to everybody else, but that says that something viral, some kind of viral infection was injected into your body, and your body's trying to fight it off.
I mean, they just discontinued the Johnson & Johnson joint.
Are they talking about reinstating it, bro?
Right, but the fact that people are getting sick and we still, they still forcing it on us.
And they still
that's the modern day version of what you see in this picture right here.
Absolutely.
I'm still looking at the brother's face on your.
Yeah, I'm looking at how young the brother is on your left, man, behind your left shoulder, man. He's a kid.
Yeah, exactly, man.
He's a kid. That's crazy.
Hey, well, listen, man, this has been an awesome.
I got a little something I want to close this out with. I'm gonna try this
discussion here. All right, man, you're gonna take us out with something.
Yeah.
All right, yes, sir.
I titled this piece. I'm only gonna give a couple bars. I titled this piece
some bars, brother.
Brick tenements for welfare recipients. Colloquialisms leave remnants of a society shattered. It's 2021, and the police still leave their victims battered and families shattered. And to some politicians, certain crimes don't even matter as long as the pockets of the rich folks get fatter and fatter. I wish I could blow this whole society into antimatter. I'm gonna stop there.
Man, listen, you just got started. You was on the road.
That's enough.
Yeah, bro, that was tight, bro.
Shameless plug. B.L.A.M TV. Black Lives what?
Yeah, we
Anti-flag.
all caught that for real. We all caught that for real, man. That was tight, man. Any last words, Nas?
Yo, hit us up some kind of way. Whether you see us on Facebook, chat, something. If you got any suggestions on how to kill vampires, you know
You need garlic.
they told
You
me to
need
use garlic. They told me to use
garlic.
a crucifix.
There you go.
They told me to use a wooden stake. None of that shit worked.
Get them bullets with the sunlight in them.
You know what I mean?
You gotta get them silver bullets, man.
I'm doing some
That's for the
experiments.
werewolf.
Yeah, I'm doing some experiments with amethyst and clear crystal and tiger's eye and shungite and stuff like that right now. And you know what I mean?
I got some smoky quartz on right now.
Word. You know what I'm saying? I'm seeing what the marijuana plant might do, you know.
Uh-oh.
But anything that kills vampires, internal vampires and external vampires, you know what I'm saying?
My last words is and he probably don't have his page out public, but Ellen Nodge is a great follow on Facebook, man. Nature, man. His nature pictures are amazing, man.
Yeah.
I didn't learn so much from just the nature pictures, man. Amazing, man. This brother is connected.
You seen that 13
to the
color
universe.
grasshopper, huh?
Huh?
You seen that 13 color grasshopper, huh?
I'm just saying, man. I've seen so much follow Nodge's page, man. He's connected to the universe, bro.
Yeah, that photography piece with the Africans was dope. I love that. It made me pick my camera up, man.
Yeah, I mean, and I'll say this too, man, for anybody that's on social media and that are really social media fanatics. The most impactful people on social media don't get any likes on their shit. You know what I mean? They don't get no likes because they ain't doing it for likes. They ain't doing it for likes. They putting out impactful shit. And I see it. I see it. And Naj is one of them. Not saying that Naj don't get likes on his shit. I'm just saying
I like all this shit.
You, bro.
I got you, bro. I like all your shit.
Word. Appreciate
Absolutely,
that.
Man.
I'm just trying to get these.
I like your shit too, Feek.
Yeah.
Absolutely. Same here, man. It's all love.
Give you a shameless plug, boy. I think you don't kind of rewrote the Black History, man. Well, I don't know how to say it, man. The Black History facts that you've been putting out, man. We got to find a way to chronicle that, bro.
Yeah, that's part of the journey, man. Because I don't think that because we just talked about it, man. As we close out, we talked about the fact, I talked about the fact that I don't know shit. And every day I'm learning out new shit. So,
yeah.
I think it's symptomatic of what we go through, man. We've been fucking, they didn't put the cape over our head for so damn long, man. We walking around with this mysterious knowledge of nothing. You know what I mean?
The masters of that shit. But I heard
masters of nothing and shit, man.
I heard a wise man say that, a wise man knows that he knows very little.
Exactly. And that's where I'm at with my search, man. So, but brothers, this has been a great show, man. I've learned a lot through both. And talking about exterminate all the brutes, man. Our brother Raoul Peck created a masterpiece for us. And if you haven't seen it, you treat yourself to that. All 4 of them. If you got 4 hours to watch some old what is that, Marvel Comics bullshit? You got 4 hours to watch this, man. It's about you and real history.
Man, we gotta get off of here, bro. Because you just put my mind somewhere else with the Marvel comic books, man.
Yeah.
Oh, that's based on all the stories out of Africa.
Well, then we can talk about that next week. Then let's do that.
I like it.
So, with that being said, man, it's been a great night, guys. Always a pleasure, man, building with you brothers, man.
Likewise.
And with that, I say peace to everybody. Peace to you, Mill. Peace, Elanaz. I'm Feet, and we out.
Peace.
I am TV.